let's get cooking our weekly bake now. This week it's crumpets, 4 crumpets going in the oven, 2 to 3 minutes. They're not taking long at all. Then our garnishes, we've got a Marmite butter. So see here, you get these lovely little 4 pucks of Marmite butter. You either love it or you hate it. So take those out of your little pot carefully. You want to let them come up to room temperature a little bit as well, but they're so thin that they will come up quite quickly. And then what we've got is all this. So this we went and picked this morning, just in the woods near where I live on the other side of the island. And you've got this lovely wild garlic blossom. They're really kind of like fragrant. They are garlicky, of course. You've got the little shoots just in there. What we're going to do is just take some of those shoots, pick the kind of ends off, and then garnish your butter with these, and then get some of those nice little blossoms in there. Some of them are open, some of them are still just as a little bud, but you get absolutely banging flavour from these. So let's get them all nicely over there. I'm going to add a little bit of salt in a second as well, just because I like that little salty kick when you taste your crumpets. A few more leaves. And the idea of this is we're going to put a little bit of this butter, this puck, on top of each of our crumpets, and then the butter's going to melt into it, leaving those wild garlic shoots all nicely on top. And then of course you bite it and away you go. So a few more on there. A little bit more garlic. You see I'm just being quite quick with it, but arrange it really nicely so it's really eye-catching. There we go. Last bit of blossom. I'm happy with that. Let's get rid of those stalks. I'm just going to keep that little bit of wild garlic for later. And then we've also sent you a little sachet of the Marmite itself, which we've just sort of like whipped up. Then cut off very little thin corner of the bag. Fold the bag over, like so. And then just squeeze it down. The idea is you just want to pipe a little bit just on top, like so. This is just to give that little kind of kick of the Marmite. Of course the butter is flavoured with it, but it's quite mellow, just so that you can taste everything, taste the lovely fresh crumpet as well. So let's get a nice little bit of that on. And again, you can put as much or as little as you like on there. There we go. And as I said, I'm going to put a tiny bit of salt. I'm happy with that. A tiny bit of molten salt. There we go, just on the top. Beautiful. Then what we do, James, can you pass my board to me, please? It's great to have an assistant. There we go. Let's get our board on. Then let's get our crumpets on our board. Move that hot tray out of the way, and then go in, get your butter and just ease it off the paper. Now you kind of work quite quickly. There we go, on it goes. And again. And what it's going to start to do now is just melt away on there. It will sit quite happily for a minute or so, but at this stage, nice tie down. Let's get our crumpets. Let's put them on our board. Look at that. That is UBChef weekly bake to start off your meal this week. Crumpets, Marmite butter, a little Marmite on the top, and wild garlic blossom and leaves. Trust me, this is really nice. First starter for you this week is this little potted crab. Now what we've done here, in the bottom you've got a tandoori spiced butter, clarified butter in the bottom. Then we've got beautiful picked white crab meat, and then with the brown, I've made this almost like a little bavois. Very, very lightly set, brown crab meat with a little cream cheese in there, loads of lemon juice. With this, what we're going to do is take a little can of water, and we're going to dip it into that. I'll show you that in a second. Dip it in, turn it out onto our plate. Also serving with it is seeded sourdough, lovely crispy croûtes, They're going to go in the oven for about 2 minutes. So let's pop them in. Pea shoot salad, a little tandoori dressing, a little wedge of lemon to serve with it. That's all we need. So let's get our plate in front, and then dip your little crab just very briefly, and you'll instantly see how that butter's melted just around the edge, because we've greased the little bowl for you as well. And then just give it a little tap. Now it comes, look at that, beautiful. Give it a little tidy up, and then just onto your plate, like so. Little rinse of the hands. And look, what we do here, really, really simple. Let's get rid of that hot water out of the way. Take our pea shoots. I'm going to take a little bit of that tandoori dressing. Also, I'm going to put a tiny bit of rapeseed, a little bit of seasoning as well. And then just dress those around, like so. And then I'm just going to mould that around. Nice little pile of pea shoots, they're nice and fresh, go lovely with this dish. Little pile of pea shoots, you put them on top, put them wherever you like. Little wedge of lemon. Then I'm just going to take a little bit of that dressing, a little bit more on there. There we go. And then let's grab our crumpets out. Okay, literally just want to warm a few seconds, no problem, no more. Take them out, crisscross them over, and there we go. Let's just sit that on the back. Look at that. That's spring on a plate. Potted crab meat, tandoori spiced butter on the top, which is softening up now. That little bavois on the bottom. Tandoori dressing, seeded sourdough. Enjoy this starter. I've got a pork Scotch egg here for you now. So in here, this is ham hock. You've got some pork belly in there as well, made into a farce, which goes around the egg, which is in the centre. Lovely organic egg in there. And you've got panko breadcrumbs on the outside. This is going to go in the oven 10 to 12 minutes. So it's already coloured off, 10 to 12 minutes, or until it's hot just in around the outside. So get a little knife, put it in, not right into the centre of course, because you want the egg to still be runny, but as long as that pork meat just in there is really hot, then you're good to go. In here we've got some crispy ham hock. So you see this is just shredded ham hock, just fried very, very quickly, nice and crispy. We've got our own salad cream, we've got a cucumber relish, we've got a lemon dressing, which is going to go on our cucumber. So here we've got some baby cucumbers, really, really thinly cut. And what I'm going to do, just before my Scotch egg comes out, I'm going to get some dressing, dress it over my cucumber, and that will start to wilt it, start to kind of work into the cucumber, release some of those juices. Everything else is out of room temperature, so we're back in about 10 minutes and we're going to show you how to put this together. My Scotch egg is almost ready now, it's been about 10-12 minutes. So cucumber, take your little lemon dressing, give it a good stir, so it's all nicely mixed up, and a good bit of that, be nice and generous. And just give it a little mix, keep them obviously in their form. And as I said, that dressing will start to wilt the cucumber down. So they're already there, let's just set them aside. Then take your salad cream. So this has been made with some hard-boiled eggs, just the yolks. So we've taken those, a little bit of mustard powder, white wine vinegar. It's got a touch of cream in there as well. So I'm going to put a nice amount of that just in the centre. There we go. Then I'm going to get my Scotch egg out. Here it comes. Nice and careful with that hot tray. I'm going to put a tiny bit of salt on the top. There we go, not too much, because of course the ham hock has that little salty kick. Out onto the board. Let's get rid of our tray. So then take your Scotch egg, sit that nicely in the middle of your bowl. Then what we'll do, see, take your cucumber. See, I'm just going to almost just twirl it over, like so. Just stand them up. Just look nice and pretty, don't they? So same again. You can just roll them if you prefer. Display it however you like, but I'm just going to curl mine. There you go. And keep going with them. There you go. And then the last one I'm just going to have laying down just for a little bit of contrast to the others. And let's get that one in there. Lovely. Then we're going to take some of our cucumber relish. This has got mustard seeds in there, fennel seeds, cumin, lots going on. Let's spoon a lovely little bit of that on the top. Always little mustard seeds gleaming. Come on. Then take some of your crispy ham hock. I'm going to arrange it just before I get it on my dish. I've just flashed this through the oven. And on the top. There we go. Finally, a bit of that lemon dressing, give it another stir. And just a little bit. This is just to cut through that rich porky flavour on there. There you go. Quick clean up of the plate. I'm looking forward to this. So that's my Scotch egg with ham hock, cucumber relish, that lovely salad cream on the bottom. Bit of a nostalgia one now, so we've got, might sound strange, we've got baked beans with jacket potato to start with and a gratin. So how we've done it, this is our own baked beans. We make a lovely tomato fondue from Isle of Wight tomatoes, of course. We've got haricot beans in there. All comes to you in this backpack bag, and all you need to do is drop this whole sachet into a pan of scalding water. Just heat it very, very slowly. You don't need to cook it, it's all cooked, ready to go. That's just going to warm up, beautiful. Then here, this is our gratin part of it. So this has got little Montgomery's cheddar gratin, souffle in here. Montgomery's cheddar on the top. This is going to go in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. So when that goes, that's going to souffle up, lovely and golden on the top. Then we've got jacket potato. So of course we've got our skins of jacket potato, which are going to go on the top, and chopped chives. Really, really simple, but the flavours in here, top class. So we'll be waiting now. That will come out, and I'll show you how to plate this up. Right, I'm going to serve my jacket potato and beans now. So I've got my plate all warmed up, and then my beans, they've just been in for 6 minutes. You see, in the bag, just bring them over carefully. You can be careful when you undo it, a bit of steam inside that bag. And then what we're going to do is cut off just the edge of that bag, nice and easy, and then we can squeeze that all in. A quick check, my souffle is not far off, ready to go. So just get your beans. Nice healthy portion. Again, you can save some for another day if you prefer. Let's get all of those out. There we go. I'm going to save a few of those. So I'll tap those down. We've got loads of things going on there. We've got Worcester sauce, a bit of Tabasco. All of those smells are coming off now. Let's grab our souffle out. Working nice and quick now. Out it comes. There's our gratin. So in it goes. You see that Montgomery gratin, the cheddar on the top, that's all melted, lovely, crisped up. Get that on there. And then quickly get your little piece of jacket potato skin. Get some of those all the way around. Lovely little nuggets of flavour. And then let's get little chives. Plenty of chives. You want a real good kick of that lovely garlic flavour in there. And there you go. Just a lovely simple starter. The flavours in there are immense. Jacket potato and beans. Here we've got a red mullet dish. This is red mullet. It's super fine batter, lovely and crispy. This is going to go in the oven for about 6 minutes. Garnishing it, basically fish and chips. But here we've got ponta potatoes. So they're chips which are cut all nice and square. You've got 9 of them in there, of course. It's got garlic butter, it's got some parsley, lovely and seasoned. That's going to go in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. To get them in first, 15 to 20 minutes, we've got a tartar sauce, so mayonnaise, we've got capers, gherkins, more parsley, lots of lemon. That's our little garnish. minted peas, so a little crushed down. They're going to go in the pan. Just turn them over a spoon just to warm them up. A little bit of charred lemon, which makes that juice lovely and sweet. So when I come back, my fish is going to be ready, my chips are going to be ready, and then we're going to put this together, and you're going to have the most fantastic posh fish and chips. I've got my tartar sauce all ready. I've got a little ring mould I'm going to push my peas into as well. You don't have to do that, a little bit chefy. And then my plate, I'm just warming it up, not too hot because we've got the tartar sauce sitting on it. There's my peas, lovely and bright, look at that. Beautiful minty flavour. And then let's grab our rest of our ingredients out. These, on the potatoes, look at them, beautiful. A little bit charred lemon. And there's our fish. That's our red mullet. Tiny bit of seasoning, a little bit of Maldon salt, not too much. And then make sure you've got, just make sure they're loosened from a tray. I put mine on a tray to bake, just so they bake nice and evenly. Or you can bake them in a little foil container it comes in, no problem at all. So let's take your peas and just do a nice little mould of these. Here we go. Push them in. And then we're going to get our on the potatoes all presented up. So let's just nicely put them all around. I'm just going to leave them in the ring mould at the moment because that will keep the temperature in whilst I plate the rest. So it's all good to go, we'll rinse. Right, and then let's get our pont neuf potatoes. So I just basted them a little bit whilst they were cooking. I'm just going to keep some of those ones with that, all that parsley on for the top. And let's go down the bottom. Let's get our potatoes and let's just see, give them a little drain on your board. And then, there we go. So, stack them up. There we go. All the way. Clean the plate there. And then we'll finish off just on the top. Like so. Nice bit of parsley on. Let's get our wedge of lemon. That's just been, as we say, just char grilled to make that juice nice and sweet. Let's take our mould off our peas. And then let's get our mullet fillets. See those lovely and crispy, beautifully light. Let's just sit them on. Look at that, lovely. Last one going on. Look at this. And then tartar sauce. Spread it on, put it in a pot, whichever you like. I'm just going to take a nice little quenelle of it, just at the centre. And there we go. So, little fish and chips for you, but using red mullet. Red mullet fillets, pont neuf potatoes, tartar sauce, peas and lemon. What more do you want? Next up, I've got a rack of lamb main course for you. Rack of lamb, absolutely beautiful, one of my favourites. Look at it there, it's part cooked already, so this is foolproof. You're going to have no problem at all ending up with a beautiful result here. The fat has been rendered down slightly already. What we're going to do, smoking pan just here, get it into your pan, just move it around, see how that's instantly starting to colour on there, doesn't need any oil, back on the stove. So let's leave that just on the edge there. We want to get that nice and golden before it goes in the oven. Just a bit of rinse. Whilst I explain the garnishes to you, we've got a croquette of lamb. Just here, this is braised shoulder of lamb, touch of harissa spice in there. We've got wild garlic gnocchi, wild garlic of course bang on in season right now. Tilt a little bit of wild garlic butter on the top. We've got broad beans and morels. We've got red wine lamb sauce with a touch of sherry vinegar in there because there's a lot of rich flavours going on, and a little wild garlic oil just to finish the dish off. Let's come back and have a look at the lamb. See how it starts to colour up. This is what you want to do, you want to render that fat. You can see there, the rack of lamb has a good layer of fat on there. No one wants to eat raw fat, so keep that rendering just on the side. Once that's coloured, I'm going to get it in the oven about 10 to 12 minutes with my croquette and my gnocchi at the same time. Then, when it's almost ready to come out, raw beans and morels on the stove, Just warm them up very, very gently. Sauce warmed up, and then we'll be back and I'm going to show you how to put this beautiful dish together. Let's grab my lamb out now. So out that comes. Give it a little drain off. Use a pair of tongs if you prefer. Got Spurs fingers, as with most chefs. And let's grab our other garnishes out. So we've got the lamb croquette there. We've got our gnocchi. And then just over my peas, sorry, my broad beans, morels just warming through. And of course my lamb sauce. So let's bring them over. And then just going to get my plate warming up. So most important, with your rack of lamb now, let it rest, okay? So just let it rest on your board, fat side up. I'll keep it nice and crispy. And then resting it allows you, when you cut into it, otherwise the blood will kind of leak out straight away, but resting it allows the meat just to kind of relax, and then when you cut into it, absolutely beautiful. Gnocchi, little croquette. I'm going to add a little bit of seasoning just in readiness onto my croquette. Just a tiny little bit on there. And of course I've got my wild garlic oil. So, let's get my plate. And then what I want to do first is just put a nice little selection of those morels, broad beans, got some edamame in there as well. I love a little contrast between the two. There we go. Nice little selection of morels and beans. So this is already starting to look nice and fresh. Then I'm going to get my little croquette of lamb, remember that braised lamb shoulder, and just sit that in there. Then we're going to go with a gnocchi. You see, just place them really, really delicate of these. Get a little bit of actually that wild garlic butter in there, and just baste it over the top. Nice and careful because they're super delicate. So, gnocchi. There we go. All the way around. There we go. And then let's come on to our lamb. There we go. So, take a nice sharp knife. What I say, turn it over, and you can see you've got the two bones coming down. Just cut nice and carefully in between both. Nice long action with the knife, all the way down. See, look at that, beautiful. Tiny little bit of seasoning just on the top. You see how I said the fat all rendered down. You can see it's lovely and kind of almost going translucent. Let's get our pieces of lamb. Let's just sit them in there, which is looking good. Not clean. A little bit of lamb sauce. So this has got a touch of sherry vinegar in there. Goes beautiful with those morels. I'm just going to let a spoon touch going round. I'm not going to dress it over the meat. I'm just going to add little pools of it. See, all going round. Then when you dive in, you get a little bit of lamb sauce, a little bit of bean, a little bit of that shoulder, but you need a nice bit on there. So that's my lamb sauce. And then finally, this wild garlic oil. There we go, look at that. We've sent you quite a bit of this, a bit of stores for ages in the fridge. Beautiful as a little salad dressing. There you go. Pretty happy with that. Rack of lamb, braised confit shoulder and that crispy breadcrumb, wild garlic gnocchi. Hope you enjoy it. My vegetarian main course this week, little Asparagus Wellington. So you see here, lovely puff pastry around the outside, a little bit of decoration on the top, of course, it wouldn't be UBChef without it. Inside we've got asparagus, Isle of Wight asparagus of course, all nice and long, with a mushroom duxelle around the outside. Then we've got a herb pancake. That's going to go in the oven about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your oven. Good way of telling those, when it's golden brown around the outside, it's ready to go. Then we've got spring greens to go with it, a little bit of garlic butter. They're going to go into a pan, or you can put it in the microwave, up to you. Just turn it over in the butter, very, very quick. I've got hot mayonnaise, so mayonnaise here, thin down. It's got some grated truffle in there as well. That's going to go on the stove. Just keep stirring it though. Or you can put it in the little container it comes in, you can put it in a little pan of water, hot, just on the side, and it'll heat up lovely in that. So that's the advantage of this, nice and simple as I say. So that's my truffle mayonnaise, crispy shallot rings. a little bit of Jersey raw potatoes with a little bit of butter in. They're going to go into my pan of water, heat up a few minutes, no problem. And then I've got a warm asparagus dressing. So asparagus juice in there, a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of Dijon mustard. I'm just going to warm that literally seconds just before we plate up. We'll be back about 30 minutes, 25-30 minutes, and I'll show you how to put the Wellington together with all these lovely ingredients. Just going to get my Wellington out of the oven. Here it comes. So use the paper, put it off straight onto the board. Mine that hot tray. So take it off that paper there. Just leave that to rest just for a second. Got my crispy shallots all ready to go. Now for the garnish, let's bring our hot mayonnaise. This is a truffle mayonnaise, just let down slightly, and it's got lovely summer truffle in there. Spring greens, oh, fresh, and then warm asparagus dressing. And I'm just going to grab my potatoes, as I said, and just getting heated up in my little pouch there. So just undo them, scissors or knife, nice and careful. Out they come. There we go, little Jersey rolls, beautiful. Right, then to plate up. Let's go. Let's just cut the end of our Wellington. So nice and careful. Like so, you can see in there. See you've got all that lovely, beautiful asparagus, little mushroom duxelle. I'm just going to cut the ends off. It's already got a little bit of salt on there, so let's just move those to the side, and then you're going to get a little pile of spring greens. We want to sit our Wellington, so there you go. They're all good to go. This all goes out of the way. Then let's take some of that mayonnaise and then just get a little bit of that around your plate. There you go. Whereas the mayonnaise, of course, it's got a little vinegariness to it. And that's the whole point. It's going to cut through the Wellington, which is really rich. So lift our Wellington on, and that looks lovely, beautiful. Get some of our Jersey Royals. Just nice and simple. With them, we don't do anything to them. Of course, everyone knows, just simple. A few Jersey Royals on there. Let's move that out of the way. Let's get a few crispy shallots just on top of our potatoes. There we go, a few more on there. Just falling off slightly, let's get them placed back on. Beautiful. And then to finish, remember that warm asparagus dressing? Just a touch. I love it. Nice rich dressing, the mayonnaise. Then cut it with his little dressing. There we go. And that looks stunning. UBChef main course this week, vegetarian, asparagus, mushroom Wellington, Jersey rolls. I enjoy. On to desserts now. We've got a custard tart here for you. Custard tart, nutmeg on the top, sweet pastry base. So we've sent it to you just wrapped up nice and carefully in this paper. So just undo it. And then really, really important of this, look at that. It's got the wobble, isn't it? Look at that. Nutmeg on the top. Make sure this is out 15 minutes prior to serving it so that it warms up and it's going to taste really, really good. We've got poached rhubarb with it, little flecks of lemon thyme on the top. We've got a rhubarb gel, and we've got a little carpaccio of rhubarb as well, which is a slice of rhubarb poached in some stock syrup. Really nice. So let's cut through. Carefully take out your carpaccio, and what you'll find is we've wrapped it just in a little bit of parchment paper, so you can just take it off of the little cardboard flat it comes on, peel off one side, and you kind of, when you look at it, decide which you think is the sort of most beautiful side, and then take the paper off for reverse. Like so, there we go. Can I have a plate please, James? So, here we go. Cut your rhubarb gel, and then take your carpaccio. I'm just going to put it slightly off centre, peel it off, take our custard tart, sit that down there, and then let's take our pieces of rhubarb. There we go, 1, 2 and 3. And then really simple, let's get our little gel. Let's pipe or you spoon, completely up to you. Look at that. There we go. And that's it. Custard tart, poached rhubarb. Hope you enjoy it. Last dessert before cheese, we made a Battenberg for you. So this is raspberry, little sponge in the middle, then we've got a vanilla sponge with some lemon in there. Remember, any nut allergies, can't have this one because it's wrapped in the marzipan. So just lift your Battenberg out, and then make sure it comes up to room temperature 15 minutes before you're going to eat it. And then carefully lift that onto your plate. Nice little straighten up. Then garnishes. So we've got clotted cream mousse just in there. We've got fresh raspberries. We've got these beautiful little crystallised mint leaves, and we've got a little raspberry gel on there as well. Bring a pan of water over. Then what we're going to do, just going to place a few little raspberries. Let's get those out onto our board so we can really get at them. So try and not place them too arranged. Almost just looks like they've fallen off the bush on there. Then we'll get a little bit of our raspberry gel, and I'm going to sit my mint leaves on top of that. So I just want a few nice little piles of it. Battenberg cake, of course, is quite rich. So next up, let's get a little spoon, get it in your hot water, don't go too hot, and then tap it off, and just get your spoon in there, like so, and just eke out a lovely little spoon of clotted cream mousse. And all that's left, get some of your mint leaves out on the board, easier to control. And look, as we said, let's sit some of those, pick out those really lovely ones to sit on top of that raspberry gel. And there we go. Look at that, save those ones for later. But that's my Battenberg to finish with. Really fresh raspberries, all those sort of fruits starting to come in now. Hope you enjoy it. Onto my cheese course now. We're doing our UBChef cheese tasting plate this week. Sometimes we do a dish like a cheese souffle, something like that. This week it is cheeses all lined up with a lovely garnish of piccalilli. So it's house-made piccalilli, salted crackers. What you want to do, make sure you have your cheese out room temperature before you serve it. So at least 15 minutes or something around that time. That will give it a chance to warm up. And then just unwrap your cheeses, like so. And then what we want to do is just very carefully just get them all onto your plate. Just wipe your plate in your little knife in between, just so you get each one displayed nicely, just with its own taste, of course. And then we'll get, that's a lovely Comté just going on there. This is an Irish Gabine, really nice. And then of course this is Gorgonzola, very rich Gorgonzola. There already. Our piccalilli, just got, of course, the usual suspects in here: baby onions, cauliflower. We sent you quite a bit of this, so of course you'll have enough to put in the fridge for another day. Now there we go, lovely bit of piccolo to serve with these. We mix the garnishes up every week of what we serve it. Yeah, nice with a bit of that carrot just on the top, lovely. And then salted crackers. These are rolled through the pasta machine. Keep them nice and thin, something a little bit different from the normal cheese crackers. And then just let's stand some of those up. Rest a few in my bendy fork I've got here. And look at that, lovely little simple cheese course. Needs nothing else. There you go, cheese tasting course. Serve it with the tasting notes that come with it. You can impress your guests. You know all about the cheeses. Hope you enjoy it.